Hello Internet and welcome back to another video. Today I will be talking about all of the new legendary Pokemon, how they can be used, and whether or not you should Dynamax them. And probably the answer is no, except for the horses, which I'll get to last. So let's start with the Regis. The Regis are kind of straightforward. We got 200 HP on Regidrago and 200 speed on Regieleki. And they don't really do much other than use their stab moves. Because with their ability Dragon's Maw and Transistor respectively, they get a 1.5 times Whisper their Dragon type attacks, whether it be physical or special. So overall, with stab, you get 2.25 times on your Dragon type attacks. Now Dragon Energy is an Eruption or Water Spout, hits both opponents, but it's based on your HP. So Regidrago you could run something like this. You should not invest in HP because the law of diminishing returns. The higher your HP or whatever stat is, the less you have to invest, and it's not worth it. You're just wasting EVs. So you should always invest in defense or special defense. So I could see something like this. Maybe to outspeed something in Tailwind, you could lower the speed and then put into defense. But I could see somebody using a Choice Specs with Dragon's Maw. Dragon Energy is your main move they're going to be using. Draco Meteor, if you want to switch it out and then switch it back in and you're at lower HP, Draco Meteor is your best bet. Breaking Swipe is a nice tech move because it has a 100% chance to lower both foes' attacks. And then Explosion, because if you're at low HP, why not get Explosion off and potentially take out two of your opponent's Pokemon. Next up, we got the Choice Scarf set. This I think will be a little bit more prevalent. Maybe I'll be wrong about that because Choice Specs works better in Tailwind, and then Choice Scarf you don't need Tailwind. So with this amount of speed, you can outspeed Dragapult, and then obviously you can invest in special attack and then some special defense because that's probably where you're going to be taking the hits. Obviously same moves here: Explosion, Breaking Swipe, Dragon Energy, Draco Meteor. It gets Ancient Power, so you could justify using that on maybe the spec set, but doesn't get a lot of coverage. Regieleki has the same problem, but they don't really need it because you get 2.25 times bonus on your Dragon type attacks, so it's honestly crazy. So you don't really need other moves because you're just going to be doing so much damage. The only thing is they gave these typings where they do have Pokemon that are immune. Regidrago, obviously Fairy types are immune to Dragon types, and Regieleki, obviously Ground types are immune to Electric type attacks. So there's that. Yeah, so there's not a lot of... You could run physical, and it does get Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, and Outrage. I don't recommend it though. Facade, Fire Fang, Hammer Arm, it gets screens, but probably not worth it. You're probably just going to be running either Scarf or Specs on this thing, I think, in my personal opinion. I've actually seen Iron Ball, which has your speed, and then you could run 0 speed on it, and then get like I think it's 76 is the 76. 76 is not bad. Divide that in half, and that is 38. Yeah, 38 is really not bad in Trick Room. Actually, it probably outspeeds a lot of things. The only thing I would be worried about is Hatterene, so be wary of that. Alright, next up we got Regieleki. Regieleki is probably going to be running one of two sets, either Light Clay or Focus Sash. Maybe you could justify Life Orb. But yeah, Light Clay is probably where you're going to see it. It gets really good tech moves in Eerie Impulse and what's it called? And Electro Web. Yeah, Electro Web. Eerie Impulse and Electro Web. Electro Web lowers both opponent's speed stat by 1, and then Eerie Impulse lowers the target special attack by 2, which is really, really nice, especially when you know they're going to go for like a weakness policy strat or something like that. Note, this doesn't work on clear body Pokemon like Dragapult and Metagross, obviously, so there's that. Now since it's so fast, you don't really have to invest a lot into it. You can outspeed max speed Timid, Jolly, Pheromosa with just 28 speed, and then you can invest the rest in bulk, and then maybe Modest Nature or Bold or something like that to get more bulk. But you really only want to be using Electric type attacks. Rising Voltage is your best attack probably. You could run Thunderbolt, but if you happen to get electric terrain up, it's probably your best bet. And then obviously reflect light screen, because it's so fast, it'll be able to get them off before your opponents can even move. So it's very, very helpful. And then the light clay makes it so that the light screen and reflect last 8 turns instead of 5. Next up, we got a more offensive set. You could run something like this, and then the rest in HP. Electro Web, Rising Voltage, Volt Switch, and Eerie Impulse, good moves. Overall, this you would probably be running with a Sash. You could maybe justify Life Orb, as I said, but yeah, it's probably what you're going to be running on Reggie Eliki. See a lot of Eerie Impulse, see a lot of Electro Web. Volt Switch is nice because you can pivot in and out, maybe into like a Flying type, so that if they go for a ground move, you can just get a free pivot, free switch in. Now we're going to talk about the birds. I think Zapdos is the most straightforward, so that's why I started with it. But Zapdos gets the ability to Defiant. If any of your stats are lowered by your opponent, then your attack stat goes up by 2. So that's really, really good for Intimidate. I honestly think Intimidate got a huge nerf in this generation. It's not as good as it was anymore. A lot of abilities changed, like Scrappy, Oblivious, Inner Focus, all immune to Intimidate now. Clear Body also immune to Intimidate, so just add it to the list. And then Define and Competitive, these two Pokemon, everybody's using them, so Intimidate is not something you really want to bring all the time to a VGC match. Anyway, so I think Zapdos could be really, really good with Adrenaline Orb, because 100 base speed is really, really good in this metagame. The only thing, obviously, things like Tapu Koko and Dragapult are going to outspeed you, so be wary of that, but with a +1 in speed, you will outspeed them, so that's really, really nice. So you could speed creep and then invest in a little bit in bulk, but Brave Bird, Thunderous Kick, and Stomping Tantrum are probably going to be your best moves. Always want to run Detect over Protect. You could run Close Combat, but I personally would rather Thunderous Kick, because this is probably like a sweeping set. You might want to Dynamax this, but I don't know, it depends on the situation. You could Dynamax this. Zapdos is probably, honestly, the birds you could Dynamax, I would say. Moltres, yeah, you could Dynamax Moltres also, but Fiery Wrath is really, really good in non-Dynamax, so there's that. Yeah, also gets Blaze Kick, gets some pretty good coverage. Blaze Kick, Brick Break if you want for screens, Drill Peck if you don't want to take damage from Brave Bird. Also gets screens, Steel Wing, right? And U-Turn. U-Turn is actually really, really useful on this. Taunt is really, really good for things like Dusclops and Porygon 2, which I've only seen like one Porygon 2. Very strange. Anyway, and then Throat Chop. Yeah, so you have some good coverage if you want it. Also gets Coaching. I don't know if that could come into play later on in the metagame, but we'll see. Next we got Assault Vest. I think Assault Vest could be really, really good. 90, 90, and 90 in defenses is actually pretty dang good. So with an Assault Vest, it could be pretty bulky. Since it's fighting flying, it's only weak to Psychic, Fairy, and Electric. Yeah, so those three are majority of the time special attackers. So it's really good to get the Assault Vest and get a 1.5 times boost in your special defense. You could run more in bulk and obviously speed creep, so that when you get a +1 with max airstream, then you could outspeed stuff. But yeah, I think this could be a really good Dynamax candidate, and I'm going to try and put it in one of my teams. Next up we got Articuno. And Articuno, I would arguably say, is the best bird, because it gets Tailwind, and the other two don't. my opinion. But yeah. First set we can run is Weakness Policy. You can run one of these 4 moves, and then Protect. It also gets U-Turn, also gets Trick Room, Stored Power. I don't know if you want to do that, maybe. Obviously I said it gets Tailwind. It also gets Ally Switch, but it's kind of frail. It's not super frail, honestly. 90, 85, 100 is really, really good, but 125 special attack, you're probably going to want to be running this as a sweeper. So with the Weakness Policy, you could trigger it with something like a Shadow Sneak from maybe a Dusclops. I think that's a really good lead, Articuno Dusclops, because you could go for Trick Room, you could Weakness Policy off, like the possibilities are there. You could run Hurricane or Air Slash for stat. Hurricane obviously is better in max because you get a higher base power max move, but Air Slash is more accurate, so there's that. If you're running a rain team, obviously you want to run Hurricane over that. Next up, we got Adrenaline Orb, same thing. You could outspeed a lot of stuff. You're probably going to be seeing the same thing like this, right? And then you could speed creep if you want. But yeah, it also gets recover, which is really, really nice. It's not that bulky, so you probably don't want to run recover and probably just run protect. But same thing, hurricane or air slash, and freezing glare is its signature move, and it's actually really, really good in the fact that it has a 10% chance to freeze the target and it's psychic attack. It's better than psychic because psychic has a 10% chance of lowering the target's SPDEF by 1. So you always want to be using freezing glare as your stab move for psychic. Yeah, that's why I like Articuno. It's pretty fast. So it goes 100 base speed for Zapdos, 95 base speed for Articuno, and 90 base speed for Moltres. And Moltres, I think, is the most diverse out of the 3, so it might be the best. I don't know, we'll see. But its signature move is kind of broken. It's a special rock slide, but it's dark type and it's 90 base power, and it's 100% accurate. So you have a 20% chance to flinch both foes, which I believe is I don't remember the stats exactly. I'll put them on screen. But yeah, Berserk is a great ability. You could when your special attack is raised by 1 when you reach half of your HP or less. So you could get a weakness policy off and then get a Berserk off, and then you have +3 special attack. It's a great max candidate. You could even nasty plot. If you're running a weakness policy set, I think a nasty plot is kind of overkill. I could see this pair with a citrus berry or something like that. So you could get 2 Berserk activations. So there's that. Hurricane, Fiery Wrath also gets air slash, right? Ancient Power, Dark Pulse, Snarl, Foul Play, Hex, Shadow Ball. But yeah, I could next up we got is a Assault Vest set. I could really see this doing well. Fiery Wrath is great for stab. Snarl is a great move, lowers the special attack by 1 if you get hit by it. But it's only 95% accurate, so watch out for that. Sucker Punch is actually a really good move, I think, for triggering another Pokemon's weakness policy, like Dragapult. That could be a very good lead. Moltres, Galar, and Dragapult, excuse me. And then we got Air Slash or Hurricane, depending on what you want to use. You could, so this 143 is the magic number to outspeed Dragapult at +1 speed. So you could lead it with Dragapult. Dragapult could max Airstream, and then you can outspeed the opposing Dragapult, and use a Fiery Wrath or Sucker Punch or whatever. So that's really good. That's my opinion on the birds, and now let's move to the horses. I would say the Regis and the birds are very good as leads. Zapdos, maybe not as a lead. You could either or, honestly. But the horses, I would say, the horses going in the back. Horses in the back. Especially Glastrier. Glastrier, you want it to get up Trick Room always, because it has base 30 speed. Now, if you watch my stream, you saw me get a 0 speed Glastrier and 0 speed Calyrex first encounter, so that was crazy. I'll put a link in the description of the video that I edited from the stream. So there's that. This is the standard set you're probably going to be seeing everywhere. You might want to take out of attack and put it into SPDEF or defense, but it is an ice type, so it's weak to fire, rock, steel, and fighting, right? And the only thing it resists is ice, so that's not very good. But it's a great offensive typing, and you're probably going to want to max this most of the time. 145 base attack, amazing. 100 HP, really good. 130 defense, 110 SPDEF. It's really, really good stats, honestly, and great ability. It's the same thing as Moxie. When you get a KO, you get a raise in attack. Now, these are the moves you're probably going to want to be using, but it does get more coverage moves. Icicle Crash is your main form of stab. You could run Avalanche, but it power doubles if user is damaged by the target. So, it's not really worth it. The other move you could use is Icicle Spear, but it's more of a single strat, not a double strat. It's only 90% accurate, but there is a 30% chance to flinch, which I totally forgot. Wow, that's actually really good. Huh. No wonder it's 90% accurate. Okay, anyway, close combat, high horsepower, great moves. Heavy Slam, this thing is 1,700 pounds, I guess, so it's going to be doing a lot with Heavy Slam, but note, you cannot use Heavy Slam on a Dynamax target, so what you could use instead is Smart Strike, which is 70 base power, but it never misses, so that's nice. It also gets Iron Defense if you want to run that on, obviously not Assault Vest. Lash Out, which is really good if it's out. It lowers Spadef as a max move. Mega Horn is actually really good for lowering special attack. Outrage for lowering attack, and then you could run Sword Dance, even Taunt, and Throat Chop. Yeah. Also gets Bulldoze, which is interesting. So you could use like this and maybe a weakness policy stack Attacka and use Bulldoze. That could be very, very interesting. Yeah. One thing I forgot to note is that the birds, they get Taunt. They all get Taunt, I think. I think even Articuno gets Taunt, right? No. Articuno does not get Taunt, but Zapdos and Moltres do, and Taunt is a really good move to stop things from getting up Trick Room. I don't know if I said that before, but yeah, I'm saying it again. Anyway, horses in the back. Next set we got is a weakness policy set. This thing, I would say that these two Pokemon are the Snowball Pokemon in the fact that they have a snowball effect. As they get KOs, their attack or special attack increases, and then they can get KOs faster, 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 and the snowball increases as it rolls down the hill. Yeah. So with the weakness policy, you get straight up 2 raises in attack and special attack by 2 stages, obviously. And this is probably your standard set: Protect, Icicle Crash, Close Combat, and High Horsepower. High Horsepower, Close Combat could be taken out for Heavy Slam or Smart Strike in this case, because you want that max Steel Spike to raise your defense and that max ground. What is it called? Max ground to raise your Spadef. So this is the same set. It's probably the only set that you really need. You don't really want to be investing in defenses because your HP is lower than your defenses. So yeah. Next up we got Spectre, last but not least. And Spectre is, I don't know, I would say less the worst of the 2 horses, but it has 145 special attack as opposed to Glastier's 145 attack. And 130 base speed, 80 Spadef, 60 defense, and 100 HP. So not bad HP, kind of bad defense, and okay Spadef. You're probably just gonna be seeing this. I would recommend either a Life Orb, maybe a Choice Specs on this thing. You could I wouldn't run an Assault Vest. I could maybe see this with a Culver Berry to weaken a Dark type attack 1 time. It gets Taunt, Snarl, Shadow Ball, Protect, Calm Mind. It gets Dark Pulse if you want to run a stronger Dark type move with a weakness policy strap, but it does not get a lot of coverage. So if you can see right here, the only special moves that it gets are Dark Pulse, Hex. You always want to be running Shadow Ball. Hyper Beam you could if you max this thing to get the minus in speed with max strike, and Mud Shot if you want to get a Spadef boost with max ground. But yeah, it's got really bad move pool, so you probably just want to be running like Snarl, Taunt, Shadow Ball, and Protect with Life Orb, maybe a Focus Sash. Yeah. But that's it. That's my opinion on the new Pokemon. Look out for some new team bombs. I'm gonna drop bombs. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe. Share this video with a friend. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!